Fellow Toastmasters, it has been said that success is 10% inspiration and 90% perspiration. This may have dual meaning for Toastmasters because often our members seek Toastmasters to get over the nervous, sweaty feeling when speaking in front of an audience. As Toastmasters, we learn to take that nervous energy and redirect it into positive energy that propels us forward in everything we do, not just in Toastmasters. Today, we have the opportunity to support one of our newest members as he starts his expedition to convert his nervousness or his inspiration into perspiration. With that, our first speaker, Jim Curry, is presenting his project number 1 out of the Confident Communicator Manual, which is his icebreaker speech. Jim's speech will serve multiple purposes today. For Jim, he's preparing for an interview question, using project number 1 to prepare. And the interview question is, what can you tell me about yourself? For the Toastmasters in attendance today, Jim's speech will help us get to know Jim a little bit better. For the icebreaker speech, the manual objectives are to begin speaking before an audience and to discover speaking skills you already have and those skills that need some attention. Jim has some personal objectives that go along with the icebreaker speech. He'd like to understand what works well or doesn't work well in the context of the interview question. Tell me something about yourself. He wants to avoid filler words. He wants to control nervous swaying in front of the audience, avoid playing with hands in a nervous way, and last but not least, he wants to get through his first speech. So timer, this will be a 4 to 6 minute speech. Please have the green light at 4 minutes, the yellow at 5, and red at 6. Fellow Toastmasters, please help me welcome fellow Rising Stars Jim Curry as he presents his speech titled, Tell Me About Yourself.
Thank you, Matt. Fellow Toastmasters. Last week when I decided I was going to do my first speech today, I went home and sat and started thinking out loud, and I told myself, who am I? Not knowing he was there, my 3-year-old son Aspen came around the corner and looked at me and said, "You're my daddy." And started sending all kinds of inspiration in my head, and it was really hard for me not to talk about that today. But I had to refocus and remember why I joined Toastmasters, which is because I'm preparing to get a promotion at work. So today I wanted to tackle that daunting first question. Tell me a little bit about yourself. I have over 20 years experience in the food retail business. I work for Kroger's, as I started out as a bagger. Back then when I started, I felt like it was really just a meaningless job, something that would give me a little bit of money to do what I wanted to do. But as time went on, I realized that that position was actually probably the front lines for the company to the customer, as we were the first impression and the lasting impression for each customer that came through that store. So I set out to find out what my duties were and to excel at them the very best that I could. And after about a year, I was offered a position in any department that I would choose. I chose to go to the meat department, where once again I found myself on the bottom. Had to find out what my duties were and learn to excel once again. Building on what I had already learned, being a bagger, for instance, general cleaning duties as a bagger. Now in the meat department I moved into food safety, where I had to be trained and certified through the state of Michigan on how to properly handle food. Then I moved on to ordering and inventories. And I'm not that old, but back then, we really didn't have a lot of computers to do that stuff for us. So we started out with a pencil and calculator, which I feel really helped me learn why and how these tasks needed to be done and how they worked. Going through all that led up to a promotion to new department manager, which I've held for over 10 years. 9 years I worked in the Lansing area, and I accomplished many goals that the company set out for us, as well as some personal goals. Recently, I was asked to come back to Jackson, where I started, to help a store that was kind of falling apart, looking for a new beginning. So I came there, and as I'm trying to help renew the spirit of the store, I took an active role in the cultural council, where I am a liaison between the workers and the management staff. I also mentor new employees to help keep the communication positive and alive for the company. Hopefully this will build an inclusive business culture where everybody will feel valued and respected. And now I'm seeking that position to be the next store manager. So I go back and ask myself, who am I? Well, not only am I goofy, I am that person that will set out to excel at every task I take. I feel that I am your next door manager. Thank you.